He can ball. Yes, he's a difference maker to some degree, make no mistake about it. Universally recognized as one of the greatest running backs in the game of football, if not the best. Last 2 seasons he played football, 1,268 yards, 1,291 yards. The very last season in 2017, 321 carries, 85 receptions. That's 406 touches. We get all of that. Sat out last season. I expect him to be a stud, but it's with a second-year quarterback. It's with a team devoid of a number 1 receiver per se. Okay, and so when I look at it from that perspective, even though it's going to get more touches, he's going to have to do a lot. They're in the AFC East, by the way, against the New England Patriots, a division they virtually own. So when I look at what he could have done in Pittsburgh, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he should not have left based on the money issues, but I'm talking about in terms of pure football, one situation compared to another. The situation in Pittsburgh when you had Antonio Brown and the crew there with Big Ben Roethlisberger throwing you the football. And you go from that to Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson. No disrespect because they can play. All I'm saying is that's a different world. And he's going to know about it sooner than later.
All right, let's talk realistically here, okay? Before I even get to the money, I'm going to get to the money. Let's start with who you'd rather play with. A descending 37-year-old quarterback who talks in the press and throws teammates under the bus, an ascending 22-year-old quarterback who doesn't. Where would you rather live half the year, Pittsburgh or New York City?
Oh, that's not fair.
Well, sure
that's not fair.
Why? Why?
Well,
hey,
I take it back because I bring it back because I bring up locale all the time. I take it back. My bad, Max.
You got a lot of nerve.
I jumped on you too soon. My bad. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Pittsburgh, beautiful Pittsburgh, Stephen A.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
Where they have high expectations, yet you've never made a Super Bowl, versus the New York Jets, where they have no expectations and any success, and they will love you. Pittsburgh, who has the Browns, as you would say, on the come-up, all the way up, in my opinion, not to mention Baltimore, versus the New York Jets, who are in a division with the New England Patriots. Are they excellent every year? Yes, that's why no one expects the Jets to do anything. And yet Tom Brady is on the way down also. And if the Jets have any success against the Patriots or contend for a playoff spot, you're a hero. And finally, the money.
Hold on, Max,
guaranteed.
before the money, I didn't hear you correctly. Are you saying that the reigning defending Super Bowl champion is on the downslide? I'm just saying. Is that what you just said?
Tom Brady? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just needed clarity.
Finally, the money.
Okay.
The money. $10 million guaranteed to 30, thereabouts. It's 27, but with injury guarantees, it's 35. Let's call it 30. I mean, like, what are we, babies? Oh, don't you want to win a championship? Would you take a discount? Yeah, but I ain't going to go from 30 to 10. I mean, why would Le'Veon Bell regret this? I don't get it.
Well, listen, a couple of things. Number one, there's no debate with the money. That's why I shoved that aside, and I wasn't even trying to bring up the money because I understand from a monetary perspective it made total sense. Please don't get me wrong. Okay? From the locale perspective, I cannot be a hypocrite. Nobody brings up cities more than me, okay? Nobody brings it up more than me. So I totally get it. There's a difference between living in New York City and living in Pennsylvania. Although if you want to talk about money, the state income tax in Pennsylvania is considerably lower than in the state of New York. So we can go there too, but we won't. In the end, here's my thing, Max Kellerman, the blasphemy that just came out of your mouth. Excuse me, you're in New York City. It's for the Jets. No expectations. What would you rather play with? So you trying to say a great player like Le'Veon Bell, you shouldn't want expectations? There shouldn't be the expectation of championship contender? It's better to be in a situation where there's nothing, there's nowhere to go but up? You trying to tell me a talent like that should be insulated in an environment devoid of expectations? I don't agree with that. That when you talk about Sam Darnold ascending, I'm sorry, you talking about Big Ben Roethlisberger declining? That Big Ben Roethlisberger that just threw for 5,100+ yards this season? That Ben Roethlisberger that threw for 34 touchdowns? That Big Ben Roethlisberger? I mean, listen, the man, I don't like his mouth at times. There's no question about that. But I think that's all you got. The fact of the matter is Ben Roethlisberger still has plenty of years left, and Le'Veon Bell ain't going to be playing in New York 5 years from now.
Roethlisberger still got it, but is he as good as he was a couple of years ago? No. Sam Darnold, as a 21-year-old rookie, started as a 21-year-old rookie, and you could see the talent's obviously there. Now, in terms of low expectations, no, of course you'd like to be in a winning, competitive environment. However, the point is the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't made Super Bowls. So, and it's not like it's because Le'Veon Bell hasn't balled out. When he hasn't been on the field, it's been a problem. I would argue Le'Veon Bell for the Steelers was the most important offensive player, including Roethlisberger.
Max Kellerman, a couple of years ago, you brought up Ben Roethlisberger. He completed 64% of his passes, threw for 3,819 yards, threw 19 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Last year, he completed 67% of his passes, threw for 34 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. I'm sorry, the Ben Roethlisberger that I saw 3 years ago, he was better than he was 2 years ago. Last year, he was better than he was the last 2 years.
5 years ago, he was better than he is.
Concerned.
5 years ago, he's better than he is now, and that's in an era where the vertical passing game has continued to yield results, and so increasingly teams have gone to it throughout Roethlisberger's career.
And what was wrong with Big Ben Roethlisberger's vertical passing game? What was wrong with it last year compared to years ago?
That's the point. Anyone who quarterbacks today is going to have inflated numbers because they throw the ball down the field, and you're not allowed to touch the quarterback anymore.
But what I'm saying, I understand that. I'm asking a direct question in terms of the vertical game. Ben Roethlisberger behind center, I haven't seen that much of a. There have been times where he's been on a roller coaster, but that was going on for years. Last year, I thought he was a bit more consistent than he had been in recent memory.
All right.
Last year, in the second half of the season especially, Roethlisberger looked to me like he was having a good season. Over the last several years, it appeared he was in decline. If you wanted to ask, would I take Roethlisberger from 3 or 4 years ago or Roethlisberger today, I'll take the guy from 3 or 4 years ago.